All right, man. You know what time it is, Deke. The boys, Cincinnati Bengals, pulling up, or actually, we're pulling up on them. But you know, how you feeling about them, man? Strengths. Start with that first, and then we'll tap into the weaknesses.
Sure. Their passing game.
Ain't that the truth?
Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Even their third receiver, it seems like Joe Burrow likes targeting. Yoshibas, Mike Gesicki, not a bad tight end. Probably one of the better tight ends that the Bengals have had in a minute.
Yep.
So really, I mean, that's their main strength is their passing game.
Yeah.
Because everything else from their run game, not that good. Chase Brown fumbles it sometimes too. Defense from top to bottom, whether you want to talk about the run defense or the pass defense, really not that good. Now they got Trey Hendrickson, obviously, good player. We know some of the good individual players that they have. Because Hendrickson's, he's probably actually having a career. I was gonna say he's probably having a career year. So,
leading the
but
league,
as a unit, pass defense, run defense, not good, and we see their defense get carved up week in and week out, and those two different areas. You could run the ball on them, you could pass the ball, whatever it is, and Joe Burrow and the offense is the thing that's keeping him in the game, particularly the passing game, keeping him in these games. And he's lighting it up. He's probably having the best season of his career, but yet the Bengals are still 4-7.
I'm about to say if they were winning, he'd be the front runner for MVP, man.
Yeah.
He is on a tear. Was it over 3,000 passing yards, 27 tutties, 4 picks, and he's been sacked with 26 times. It's like, yo, dude's on a mission.
So man. I'm just going to keep it simple here for strengths. I'm just going to say Burrow, Chase, and Hendrickson. How about that?
Yeah. Trust me, man.
Burrow, I'll say Burrow, his targets.
Yeah.
I'll say his weapons, and then I'll go with Hendrickson on defense.
Deke, you have exactly what I have, man.
Because I can't really throw. I think Taylor's a good coach, but do I put him in the strengths? I don't know. I think he's solid. I think he's average. I think he's average to above average.
Fair enough.
And then McPherson, he's been missing a lot of kicks recently. He was good whenever he came on the scene his rookie year, but he might even be more of a weakness at this point.
It's been a weird season for a lot of the kickers not named Boz. So shout out to Boz being one of the more consistent guys this year. But yeah, a lot of the guys that have traditionally been rock solid kickers are struggling this year, man. So hopefully, they keep that on their side and that doesn't rub off on our guy. But what I was saying is, man, we got pretty much the exact same for the strengths, man. I was trying to figure out, do I want to divvy it up as Burrow and his targets or just Burrow and name off the targets, right? But Joe, man, you know what he is, man. True pocket passer. He's not going to wow you with his legs, but he does an excellent job of climbing the pocket. He's very pocket aware, and he understands how to buy time. That's what we talk about even when we say with Russell Wilson to kind of bring you an apples to apples comparison, and we say you don't have to be the most athletic, but if you understand just how to buy time, pocket awareness, how to climb it, when to escape it, that can help you out. And for Joe, he has proven to be a master of that this season. You heard me talk about the statistics that he's been able to put up this year, and this is while he has been under duress. 26 sacks in a season, and we're not even finished yet. That's a lot of times your quarterback is getting sacked, man, let alone how many times he's been hit. But with Joe, he has, number one, you can make a case the best receiver, just depending on how you feel about him versus Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. And Jamar Chase is playing like that. He's pissed off. He's highly motivated. He's playing for new money. He didn't get the contract he wanted. He took an insurance policy out for $50 million, and my man is on a tear this year. You look at the numbers for him already over the 1,000-yard mark, and he has a rack of touchdowns as well, and doesn't look like he's slowing down.
How's that insurance policy work?
So basically, if he gets hurt to the point where he would not be able to play again, or if he feels that his market value would have been damaged, the insurance policy will compensate him up to $50 million in value because he feels that he's a $50 million receiver.
Sure.
That's literally it.
What's the premium on that?
I'm not all the way sure.
Like, is he putting $1 million down?
I don't even know if it would be to that extent. But honestly,
it's smart.
This is what like college dudes would in the past. College dudes would do this if you couldn't leave early. Take the insurance policy out of yourself because what happened to McGahee in the Natty when he blew his knee out, and it was like, yo, you saw how it kind of affected his market. So
what's his face? South Carolina. More
yeah.
recent example. Lattimore.
Lattimore. Yeah, he's another one. So it was
Running
like
back.
dudes started to take out insurance policies if it got to this situation where now most guys are just leaving to go into the league or NILs. Dudes aren't even as worried about it because you're making so much money. But that's why you would see this more so in college versus in the professional ranks. But because of him not being able to get the deal done and he didn't want to sit out, this is the alternative. I wish L. Bell would have done this because this is like the best of both worlds where now you're guaranteed you're going to have your money if you get hurt, but you also get to go out there and play to the fullest of your ability. And hey, if you want to come back and sign here next year, you can. But if you want to go elsewhere, you can. And it's not going to be you sitting a year out and now you got to get everything back, go and get your motion back and all
You're
that other
right.
stuff.
L. Bell should have done that.
Yeah.
Was that talked about?
No, because this is uncommon at this level. Because most people, it's either I get the deal done or I do not come up on that field. This is the I want to help you out because I still care about this team. Most dudes, when it gets to this stage, you're like, bro, the negotiation has went so bad, you're like, F the team.
Yeah.
And I tell you, that was even like how I felt at the time when I was signing to Atlanta. It was like, yo, you get to so much negative with the negotiation. Like, bro, how do you even want me there? Why do you want me if you feel like this about me? If you're going to say this constantly about me? And at times you take it personally. I just think for Chase, his relationship with Burrow made him be a little bit more open to this. And I think that's kind of why it worked out like that, man.
And you see, whenever you sit out the year, it doesn't really
It hurts
do
you,
you right for the long term of your career.
Right. They usually get hurt more than it helps them, but you get the guarantee that you're going to get your money. And that's kind of why dudes do it, because with this sport, we've seen you're one play away, and instead of you getting the $60 million, you know, unfortunately, Ryan Shazier, right? Like, we've seen how quickly it shifts. So I think that that's why usually dudes won't even entertain going out there. But the insurance policy is like all right, this is the best of both worlds. So shout out to Chase. But yeah, this is definitely not something that a lot of people do, because even you called it, right? You said, bro, how much is the premium? You still got to pay that premium. Like, you come out the pocket for this. But it's just guaranteeing that if I get hurt here working wise, I'm going to get paid on the back end. Whereas most dudes like, bro, I just won't show up. I ain't about to pay whatever this premium is for this policy. I just won't show up. Hey, can't find me, right? And I know it's another team that's gonna pay me next year. And they usually take that approach. But that's why I said with Chase, just like, you could tell he wants to be out there. And that's why he went this approach. So shout out to him, man. He talk a lot of smack, and I love his energy, but you can't knock what he's willing to do for the squad, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, those are the big ones, man. Obviously, T. Higgins, man, dope as heck, man. Now that he's been back a couple of weeks, man, playing really well, had a nice game versus the Chargers. You talked about Trey Hendrickson. That is their pass rush specialist. I'm not about to act like they have a ton of good pass rushers. They don't. It's Hendrickson. Hubbard, I think, has maybe 2 sacks, and it's a ton of half sack here, 1.5 here, half sack here.
He's been better in the past.
Yeah. But it's Hendrickson. Hendrickson is the guy that creates all the pressure up front, but that's also part of why when we get to their weaknesses, why they're struggling as well. Kind of like the Ravens, they don't generate a ton of pressure, and this group doesn't like the blitz either, so it's bad on bad. But obviously, man, with their offense as a whole, it's very explosive, and I think that's the one thing that I took away from them, man. It's like, it doesn't matter how much they are down by. I think they were down by 3 scores at one point in the Chargers game, and it's like within a span of a couple of minutes, they tied it up, and you're like, whoa, they have that type of, we don't need to have 10, 12 play drives. They could score in a bunch of 1 play, 2 play, 3 play. Like, they have that type of, capabilities, and it's mainly because of the receivers. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. And you got a quarterback that can sling it, man. But enough of the good. How we feeling about these weaknesses, baby?
Kind of hinted at it. It's really everything outside of Burrow in the passing game.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say is their weakness. As you mentioned, the offensive line, the Bengals still haven't really figured that out in protecting Joe Burrow. So he gets pressured a fair amount. But he's able to make it work because he's playing that good. But their run game, not terrible, but not completely existent, probably to the way that they want to, and trying to be balanced and everything because of how many points their defense gives up. So they got to be passing. That Chargers game, just without the game flow, is you're down 3 scores. Yeah. You got to. And I actually do think Chase Brown is like a decent running back, but he has some ball security issues. Mm-hmm. So I would say offensive line. Offensive line and defense as a whole, I would consider their main weaknesses. outside of Trey Hendrickson, because you could pass on him. That secondary is pretty weak. Cam Taylor-Britt as your top guy with Josh Newton. Mike Hilton in the slot. We know he's better in the run defense, but pass defense, are you kidding me? I like whatever matchup we throw out there against him, unless I guess it's Calvin Austin. But Calvin should be able to route him up. Calvin should be able to create the separation.
Listen,
but like they're
Mike
similar
Hilton's
in height.
Mike Hilton's my dog. He doesn't want that issue. He better get hands on him. And he knows this. Mike, you already know how I feel about you. Shout out to you in the fan, man. I love what you got going, but shit, you're going to have to put them hands on Calvin. Calvin will run right by that, man. But if he gets the hands on him, then that's his wheelhouse.
Same familiar faces at linebacker with Logan Wilson, Pratt, Davis Gaither. Cool, but they're just getting older as the seasons go by. They're not necessarily getting better.
Yep.
Solid, but nothing crazy. They're not playmaking.
They're good players. They're
not
playmaking.
Players. They're not making splash plays. Nothing like that. And then D-line, outside of Hendrickson, nothing you're that concerned about. So, defense, I'll say, I'll throw McPherson in there then, too, if I got to name three.
Okay. Respect.
O-line, defense as a whole, and then McPherson, because
he's not as consistent right now.
He's not as trustworthy as he was his rookie year. I mean, even going back to...
You remember that rookie year when he said, hey, I got to make this go to the AFC Championship? Or go to the Super Bowl? He was like, hey.
I don't remember what he said.
He
was a little cocky.
Yeah, he was like, yo, get ready to pack it back. We're going to the Super Bowl. He's like, yo, we're going. He was like, we're going to the AFC Championship. We're going to the Super Bowl. Whatever it was, he was like, yo, get ready. We're about to go. And he went out there and hit the kick right down the middle. He was like, yo, that's what you said as a young boy. Like, that's tough.
I think it was his second year. That's when we played the Bengals week 1, and he missed those kicks and stuff down the stretch.
Because Minka had the...
there was the block, but he missed one. Like, didn't he hit an upright?
No, the snap,
missed some gimmies.
The snapper got hurt.
That's what
it was. The snapper had got hurt, so everything was off.
Okay. Either way, he hasn't been the same.
Yeah.
I'll throw him in the weakness category.
I like it.
Especially if you stack him up against balls.
No, facts. Yeah, did you have any more? You was done.
That's good.
Bet that.
That's
solid.
solid.
So for me, man, I agree. Offensive line was the big thing that stood out. The 26 sacks allowed, and they give it up in a multitude of ways, inside and outside. They have some players that, like I said, from a name standpoint, y'all will know them. Amarius Mims, we obviously talked about him coming out from the draft. He's starting at right tackle for them. Good, but young player. Alex Kappa, we talked about him before. Cordell Volson, that was their, I want to say he was last year's first rounder couple years ago, their fourth round. I'm about to say, but he started as a rookie. You guys remember that was the game when Cam, that same game you're talking about, so when Cam went to work on him. And then Orlando Brown, we obviously know he came over from the Chiefs. He's questionable, so we could get Cody Ford. He's been around for a little while. Nothing crazy, but like I said, they're names, but in terms of overall production, in terms of overall consistency in the run game, not the best. And I put their running game as a weakness because, yes, statistically, they do have like good numbers. I think Chase might be at around 600 yards on the season, but a lot of it is due to teams being fearful of the pass. So the same way we talk about, all right, because of we having a more heavy run attack, teams play that, defender in the box, and it makes us running into a brick wall over and over and over, and we just pray that, all right, man, this can be the game we can hit it outside and get the throwing. It's the reverse effect when you're playing against the Bengals. Everybody is trying to play too high shell because Jamar Chase, and now especially with T. Higgins being back, and they even talked about it at the tight end spot, that's the scary part with them, and they can win in the one-shot variety. It doesn't take them a ton of plays. So the flip side is Chase actually gets a lot of favorable looks to run into, and he does benefit from that, but at the same time, you can still see where you have ball security issues. You can still see where I think if you actually tried to make him the focus of your defense and say we're going to take him out, I don't think that would be something that we would all be overly concerned about. So that's why I have him as a weakness for the running game as a whole. And then, man, just their secondary. I don't think they have a lot of playmakers back there, man. You named the dudes. Shout out to Mike Hilton. But with Mike Hilton, he's more of a playmaker in the blitzing variety, not more so in the coverage variety. Can he make plays? Yes, but it's just not the same group that we used to look at a couple of years ago. I think Von Bell might be the only guy that's still remaining.
And he's what,
from
3 years older, 4 years older. Not as good.
Yeah, so it's just a different, time they're in right now. DJ Turner's been in and out of the lineup. I think he's still hurt right now. So that was their high-end pick that we even talked about looking at him was at last year when he came out of Michigan. Or was it might have been 2 years ago coming out of Michigan.
Anyway.
Yeah. And we said maybe he was more of a speed guy than a true consistent lockdown corner like we feel about JPJ. But as a whole, that's kind of why I met with them. And just they're not really they're not consistent defensively. We talk about with our defense, man, and we say we're not consistently dominant. They're not consistently good. Like, they'll have little moments where they're like a good defense, and then they'll have like
if the offense gets cooking a little bit, they'll feed off that momentum.
Right. But as a whole, they're not a unit where it's just like they come out there and, you put them out there first. Like, that's not this group here. So, you said those are the things I look at as weaknesses for them, man.
Yeah, a team that I think can beat anyone in the league.
I agree.
One of those games
where
you shouldn't be overlooking the Bengals.
If
you're going up against Joe Burrow, there's no matter what the record is, you shouldn't be overlooking a team like that.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why you would be talking about overlooking the Browns or some of these other teams, but not as much with the Bengals.
They score. They're gonna make you.
But you called the Browns game. You were like,
Don't do me like that.
I'm not as concerned. Well, you did say you're not as concerned about the Bengals. Now I don't know if you feel the same way right now. Versus the Browns, you were like, we got to watch out for the Browns. That's why.
If we're being real, I still feel the same. I looked at it like I just thought, man, short week. Jameis he's energy. When you got a guy that has energy and they believe, it just gets weird. And we were coming off of that Ravens game where it was a lot of emotion. It was a lot of fight. It was a lot going into it. So it's like, yo.
Letdown game.
It's just as a whole, we're just saying like everything that you're walking into is saying this shouldn't work. But because of how we're playing, we feel like, we can overcome that. Then it was just like, all right, here, throw a blizzard on top of it. Now it's another variable. So it was just a lot of that, whereas I don't feel like we had the same variables this week. Cincinnati had a bye week. Great. We've had 10 days off. You know what I mean? Hey, they are great throwing the football. They're great with their receivers, but they have shoddy protection. Hey, well, we actually feel really good about our secondary. And when our pass rush is actually playing like they're supposed to, and hopefully with 10 days of rest, they should be back out here cooking the way they're supposed to. To me, that plays well for us. And then I feel like they're going to have a time trying to stop us on offense. I think we can run the ball versus them. And if we can run the ball, you know what that means from a passing standpoint. And I think for me, that's what makes me exciting. Whereas I didn't feel like we were going to be able to just run it consistently versus Cleveland because their D-line is good. And when we talked about the interior D tackles, I'm like, them dudes, they make it really challenging to run against them. And if we can't run, now we got to try to play the whole one-dimensional throw in it. Can you block up front versus Myles Garrett? I just didn't like all that. With Cincy, they ain't the same defense. Cincy is like, you can run legit on them, and they don't move Hendrickson around like that. So it's like, bro, I know you're going to be sitting right here. Give me a tight end. Give me some chip. Give me something over there. But I know you're here every time. Broderick, you got to block Sam Hubbard, bro. And I don't think that's a tall ask. If that was Trey Hendrickson over there, I'm like, all right, bro, I don't like this. But I feel like we match up really well. In their corners, they're going to have a time. I don't see a dude on their roster that could check GP. I don't see a dude on the roster, bro.
You saw what he did last year.
Like, I'm so serious. I don't see a dude that could check him, bro.
What was it, 195 and 2 touchdowns?
Yeah. I'm still
He was only on like 4 catches.
Yeah,
too.
bro.
4 or 5 catches.
And we took the first catch, the slant. It was like 80. Yeah. So that's my thing. I'm just like, I don't see how they stop that. And if they double that, Nas is killing you.
Well,
my receipt across the board. You see what I mean? Like across the board, I just feel like we have personnel now. We got people. And not people that we're just saying on paper should make a play. It's like, we've seen Calvin make plays.
He's picking it up a little bit.
We've seen Calvin make multiple plays, right? We've seen Van Jefferson make multiple plays. We don't feel like it's as consistent, but it's like, bro, we see him catch multiple 20-plus, 30-plus yard catches, man. We could go back.
Yeah, I guess he did do one last week.
Yeah, we could go back.
First down.
Look, if we went back to some of our other receiving groups and look at your third receiver and how many 20-plus or 30-plus yard catches he had, I bet Van Jefferson gonna be up there, probably one of the top guys, man.
Calvin's on pace for, I think, around 500 yards this year. He's got like 300 something. So he's low-key putting together a nice little season. I just want Mike Williams to be more in the game, more involved.
No, and I'm with you. And I think he will. He definitely will.
that stat line that I just mentioned with Calvin Austin, that shouldn't be your wide receiver 2 stat line. That should be your slot receiver, wide receiver 3.
Yeah, respect.
So we need to get Mike Williams more involved.
Yeah. And I think all of that will continue to happen. But that's why I'm like, I think the Cincy game is more of a exciting game for the viewers because I feel like they will score. But as a whole, I think that this is still one of those games where I just feel way more confident about our ability to control this game versus when you're trying to play the game of, all right, my strength looks like one of your strengths. This could get weird here. Now we got to hope that all the other stuff goes in our favor. I feel like we can do what we want. Like, us running the ball is priority number one for us.
Burrow off the field.
Absolutely.
That's actually a good way to.
Absolutely. It all goes full circle, man.
Right.
You look at that Chargers game, they start scoring. Like, all right, cool. Now y'all going back and forth. All right, you better keep them off the field sometimes. It's kind of like when you play the Chiefs. Oh, what's the best defense versus Chiefs? Keep Mahomes on the sideline. Can you get a 10 play? Can you get a 13 play? And now
out of rhythm.
And get out of rhythm. Absolutely. Yep. So like I say, that's kind of how I see it with that, man. But
we're playing in Cincy too. So hopefully Najee can run a little bit better on this turf than he did in the Cleveland snow.
Hey, he ain't got to worry about that snow no more. He's good now. He's good, man. He's good. Yeah.
Jalen's done good in Cincy before, I think.
I feel like Jalen do good everywhere.
He's just a good player, man.
Yeah.
Deserves more respect.
I would agree. He gets a lot of respect. What? But that's my thing, man. I feel good. And I also feel good that I know I got a quarterback that the moment's not too big for.
Right.
He's never going to look across at Joe Burrow, no matter what Joe Burrow does in this game, and feel like I'm out of it. Feels like, I can't do it.
We've seen it multiple times this year. Down double digits.
Here.
Commanders game.
Yeah, he's been most places like, this dude, like,
just last week.
always in it. Absolutely. In the snow. Down double-digit points. He's like, I got us. Don't trip. So I just feel like, man, I know what that is. I done seen that story way too many times to act like I can't believe it.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I was live streaming the game. A lot of people were saying it was over at halftime.
Yeah.
A lot of people were saying it was over in the third quarter when we got down double digits.
Yeah,
I was like,
what we going to do with snow? How we going to come back
listen,
now?
Man,
all right, watch.
We got to rush.
Yeah.
I've seen it too many times.
Just watch.
You can't be calling this game until
just watch.
There's really zeros on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
Let him cook in the fourth. Like, this is part of his games. There might be some slow starts.
He has fourth quarter comeback. He's like Mr. Fourth quarter comeback right now.
But there's something to his game. I don't know what it is. He'll just heat up. He's got a better feel for the defense, feel for how things are going, and he'll step up when the moments are brightest.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah, check this out, man. Going back to what you just said about rest, the dude has 40 game-winning drives. Second most among active quarterbacks, only behind Matt Stafford, bro. Like, dude, do that, man.
Yeah.
Dude, do that, man. Absolutely. All righty. Got a couple of matchups, man, and from there,
what's the word with TG?
He texted me, said he needed 5, so I was like, this is perfect because we're wrapping up this part of it anyways, man.
Cool.
But the couple of matchups, man, that I had, man, that, like I said, would just be a little alert for, and that will matter in terms of us getting up out of here with this dub. The first one, man, to me is Amarius Mims versus TJ Watt. We've talked about our pass rush in the games where our pass rush is cooking and TJ is cooking. We are a way different defense. We know what Thursday was, and we saw how that affected us at times. This is one where TJ got to win this one, man, and win it constantly.
Is he hurt? What's going on?
Nothing that has been out there publicly. So I'm gonna operate
with Rodgers.
I'm gonna operate with the same assumption that he is healthy because he is out there, and I have not seen anything pop up. So yeah,
he was playing better when he was hurt.
Sometimes you could just have an off game, and that's what I'm chalking it up to. I chalk it up to a little bit of off, but he did still have impact, and his off isn't like normal people's off.
He's still good.
He's still a good player. He still was good in the game, but it wasn't TJ good. And that's the difference. And he knows exactly what I'm talking about. And for him, this is a matchup that he knows he has to win because you're not going to just sit there and play coverage all day versus Joe Burrow and these receivers. You better get this guy off the spot. You better make this guy have to move that ball and get out of his hands a little bit faster. This is the matchup, man, that
he does a good job of batting down Burrow's passes.
He does, absolutely.
That typically is
he
the thing
plays
you see
big
every
versus
time
Cincinnati.
we play Cincy.
Yeah, he plays big versus Cincinnati. So this is one of those ones that we got to have, man. From there, I got to talk about Jamar Chase. All right. So whether it's JPJ exclusively or or Dante Jackson, whichever one sees him. It's like, yo, every single time, that's the one.
Well,
it don't matter.
You got to worry about the other guy, too.
Seriously, T. Higgins as well. Absolutely. But it starts with Chase. T. Higgins is a problem in his own right. But Chase, because remember, T. cooked us, was that last year as well?
When they didn't have Chase.
Yeah, when they didn't have Chase, he got after us. Yeah.
Well, that was 2 years ago.
Good call. Good call.
With
Here.
Kenny.
Yeah, here.
In the Keller Rush jerseys.
Yeah, he got up after us, man. So we know he's more than capable. But Jamar Chase is the guy. That's the guy that's going to get the targets. That's the when in doubt, Burrow's going there, man. When in doubt, that's his guy. And you already know what he's capable of, man. Like I said, leading the league in receiving. He's cooking. He's on a tear. Whether you want it deep down the grass, whether you want it at the line of scrimmage, whether you want the screen and he shake somebody taking it, take the slant, go to like, you got to tackle this dude, man. You got to do it. Antennas up every single time. And then from there, man, I keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it again, man. Joe Burrow, it's his time. We know he's going to throw that ball probably 50 times. No exaggeration. At bare minimum 45. Just based off of what he's been doing. So Minka, you got
don't even bring up Minka in these matchups anymore.
Opportunities, baby.
Don't even bring up Minka.
You can have 45 opportunities this game, all right? Keep a lid on it, okay? Minimize damage. Continue to be a great tackler, all right? All right. And if the ball just happens to be, in the air and you want to catch it, go catch you one, all right? But as a whole, please keep the lid on this defense, tackle everything, and specifically Jamar Chase, because you know how he could do, all right? But, yeah, because Joe going to throw it 45-plus times. Deke, this is going to be his best opportunity, bro. His best opportunity this week, man.
I wanted to double-check the
best opportunity,
Bengals red zone stats because you mentioned keep a lid on it.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. They're top 3 in the league and
they
converting
score.
In the red zone.
Listen, bro.
But the caveat, if you flip it to the other side, we're struggling with our offense.
Yeah.
Punching it in the red zone. Bengals defense is terrible in red zone defense.
It's a get-right game. Come on, get right.
So this really might be a shootout.
Yeah.
That's what I expected it to be.
You heard what it said, baby.
If you even look at the details a little bit more.
Yeah. It's the perfect storm. All right. But I love it for us. I feel like it ends well for us. But, yeah, it could get a little weird. All right. That's why we need TJ to do what he does. Because you just got to steal the possession.
Because if you watch these Bengals games, they all are coming down to the wire. They're all shootouts.
You steal the possession. You got to steal the possession.
Even like the ones that are losing. Chiefs game, 25-26. The 2 Ravens games.
All right.
The Chargers game from Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
Shootouts. Final score. 2-point conversion attempts. That
coming down
stuff.
to the end. Yeah. So I'm letting you know, like,
Commanders
they
in week 3, they lost 38-33.
Remember how crazy that game was? That's the Jaden Daniels coming out party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are Bengals style games.
Yeah. So he's gonna put it out there, man. And that's, like I said, hopefully my dog Mink, man, do what he do. And hopefully he don't get in trouble this game too, because I feel like it's him and Jamar Chase to be beefing all the time. Remember Chase flicked them off.
Yeah.
He tried to kill Chase. They hate each other. I love it. Probably because they both great players and they both really like that. And it's that alpha on alpha mentality.
LSU
Heck yeah, it's alpha on alpha. I'm like, oh, get your popcorn ready. I can't wait for that one. Final 2 matchups, though. Trey Hendrickson, like I said, man, he is their best pass rusher. He's leading the league in sacks right now, 11.5 of those things. He plays with no gloves. Lets you know he's all business, all right? Dan Moore. Redemption, baby. Get a redemption. And I actually like this matchup better for Dan Moore than Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, more athletic. Trey, more of a powerful guy. Has some speed, a lot of technique with his moves, though, man. I just think for Dan, this is the one where you get back on schedule. You get back to what you've been doing this season and kind of erase some of that Myles Garrett from Thursday night. All right. And then from there, the last one is the one that I love the most. Cameron Taylor Britt, Josh Taylor versus George Pickens. GP, anytime you line up on those boys, man, in this single coverage, you better absolutely murder them dudes,
we
man.
definitely have to have at least 3 or 4
You
bomb
gotta
attempts
absolutely
from Russ
murder
to
these
Pickens.
dudes, man. You gotta absolutely murder these dudes. Because neither one of them dudes can guard GP, man. Can't do it.
Russ just got to
They literally can't do it, man.
Oh, this is, again, another reason why we got to get Mike Williams on the field more. You could throw it up to Mike Williams, too, on some verticals.
Yep.
Because whoever's covering Pickens, the other guy's going to be covering Mike Williams. And I think that's a mismatch in our favor, too.
I would agree, bro.
So it goes back to what I was saying in the Commanders game. All right, I think it was the Ravens game. Either way, it's not a bad strategy for whatever team we face. Get Mike Williams on one side, Pickens on the other. See if they double them.
It was the Ravens game.
If they do, work the middle. If they don't, throw it up. Not that complicated.
Yep. Because it's going to make you have to pull that safety out. And if you don't pull that safety out the box, I'm killing you on the perimeter.
Oh, yeah,
man.
maybe it's different.
I'm going to kill you on the perimeter,
facing
bro.
some team with a really good secondary. They got two really good corners, but
this ain't that.
These last couple of games, we haven't been seeing that.
Yep.
That's not on the scouting report.
Yep, absolutely right, bro. You are absolutely right, man.
What team really is built like that? Like two lockdown corners. We're probably the closest.
We're the closest, yeah.
We might be.
Cleveland, Newsom and Ward, league-wide, people look at them like that. Green Bay.
I guess Jets won healthy. They got Reed and Gardner healthy.
Yeah. Buffalo used to be with when it was White and
Broncos defense has been
White
good.
And Wallace over there, yeah.
Shurtan. Who's the other guy though?
Now they got the young boy out of Iowa, Riley Moss. Remember they said the first it was the first Caucasian cornerback's interception this year, and like I guess it's like Seahorn or something like that. Yeah. Why we both knew the same dude? It's like Seahorn. Yep. It's been a minute, bro. Shout out to Jason Seahorn. God.
Are we doing score predictions?
Yeah, let's drop our score prediction because he just tagged. All right, perfect. So yeah, we'll drop our score prediction, then I'll call him up because he said he's on me. So.
All right. I don't think field goals gets this done for us. We're going to need some touchdowns. But as I said, luckily the Bengals defense is terrible in the red zone. I don't think their secondary is good. Russ has been getting some explosive plays on tape here. Yeah. Just last week in the snow. Some inclement weather. We had 6. What's even the category, like the stipulations for so-called explosive plays? It got to be 20 plus.
So explosive run, 10 plus yards on the ground, and explosive pass play, 15 plus.
15. Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
All right.
You think about how many 15 plus passes you see in a game, though, man.
That's kind of.
Yeah.
I was expecting 20, 25 plus. Either way,
I mean, you could throw it as 20. You could say it's 20.
Russ
as well,
has been.
But I'm just saying, think about in general.
Like,
the ball you don't see a lot of those, man.
He's been taking his shots like game in and game out, no matter what the weather is, no matter what team we're playing. So I don't know why we wouldn't be doing that against the Bengals. And with the Bengals secondary, we should be having success there. So I don't think this offense is gonna have any problems. We should be able to run the ball. Hopefully we keep Burrow, their offense, off the field by doing that. But then we're also gonna have our explosives too. We convert in the red zone because of how bad the Bengals defense is in the red zone. I don't know if we're doing fields packages or not. Hopefully not. Let's just have Russ out there because we were doing good in the red zone. I felt like Russ's first like 2-3 games, right? There was no complaints about red zone stuff.
It's literally just been Ravens game, which we know who the Ravens are, and a snowed out short week Thursday game versus the Browns. So it's context for both of them, regardless of how you want to spin it. It's context for that.
I do think this comes down to the wire, though. I think we're gonna. Man, I don't know. I could see it going both ways here. Because I was just about to say, I think we get up. You know, we get our 28, we get our 30, but it does come down where it's one score. Burrow, Bengals, like they have a chance. Yeah, coming down to the wire. Maybe they have to go for 2. They don't get it, or you know they have to kick a field goal or something. They miss, you know, some type of weird situation. Yep. But I could also see it the other way, where the Bengals get up on us. We're down 10 second half, and
comeback time.
Yeah, comeback time. Defense starts getting their antennas up, starts locking in. Russ goes into let Russ cook mode. We get like back-to-back touchdowns, almost like in last game. Yeah. Even though Fields was a part of the one touchdown drive, the first one. Man, I could see it either way. I'm just gonna either scenario could play out, but the final score is going to be us with 31, Bengals 27.
Let's go.
So it could be either. It could be either path, but that's the final.
I like it.
It could be a Boz game-winning field goal, or it could be Bengals trying to come back, but something goes awry down the stretch, and we get out of the stadium.
We on the same page, man. We on the same page. There's going to be some scoring going on in this week, man. This is not like the Ravens game. This is not like the Browns game. There's going to be some scoring on both sides of the field. I got it 27-25. I also agree. I think it's some weirdness going on. I feel like it's some failed 2-point conversion or versions.
Probably us trying to do a field package.
And it comes down to it. But ultimately, man, we get the job done 27-25. It's going to be one of them ones, though, man. Yeah. No matter how much you plan for a Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins game, those guys are some of the best in the world. They're gonna make plays. But at the same time, they are going to have to stop us, and we have the best in the world on both sides of the ball, man. So for me, man, 27-25, it's going to be one of the ones, though. We're going to be over here like,
You're right. It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be like that Commanders game, probably.
I don't know, like what the nugget is. Is it a Danny Smith block special play? Is it a trick something over here on offense? Is it a TJ strip sack? I don't know. Maybe it's the Minka pick six. Who knows?
That's not happening.
Don't do it like that, Deke. Don't do it like that. All right. But
that's old Minka.
I'm
just saying. How you guys talk about old Deke. That's old
bro,
Minka.
I'm just saying, man.
New Minka just don't hit right.
Man. Mink out here in these streets, man. I can see Mink coming out, get your hand on one, Mink. Come on, baby. Yeah.
Old Minka, old Deke.
Yeah, man. Minka gonna come through this week, man.
Both washed, both
Minka
non-existent.
coming through this week, man. I can feel it. I can feel it. Call it in the air tonight. Shout out to Mink, man. All righty. But yeah, that's where we're at with it, man. So hopefully y'all were enjoying the preview. Hit that like button.
We're dogs in this game,
which is crazy. But we'll get to it though, because we got to talk.
Which is probably good for us.
We like it. We ain't got no reason to be overconfident this week, man.